if you're wanting to improve your life or make the world a better place, there's one single best way to do that, and that is to get more love in it. But to do that, you have to learn how love works. So that happens in several steps, and let's take those steps on today. The first step is you have to notice something. It has to capture your attention, and the word we use for this is attraction. Now, attraction basically means that you're drawn towards something. You want to get a little bit closer to it. So let's learn a lesson from the kind of thing that people are typically attracted to, like big shiny things. And I can think of no better example of a big shiny thing than this giant bean sitting here over my shoulder. So let's take a look and see what happens when we draw closer to it, and you'll learn a valuable insight about attraction. The first step, the birthplace of love.
Do you think
MRB. Come on.
By this time, it should be abundantly clear that the most important element of attraction is not that great big shiny ball behind me. And when you think about it, that makes sense, because you can't actually experience the ball itself. Every millisecond of your life, everything you've ever enjoyed happens, you experience it from your skin on inward. So what does it mean to be attracted to a thing like that? Well, it means that that thing helps you to experience yourself more fully. And not only that, but probably the best parts of yourself that make you feel like you come alive and are excited and have things to look forward to. So let's talk about a few practical applications about what that means and how you can use this information to be more loved and more loving. In the first place, there's no limitation on what you're able to find attractive. It doesn't have to be something big and shiny. If you look for the good in something, you will find it. And that'll make you a better, more loving person, which will add a lot of satisfaction. A lot of people, when they think of attraction, they think only of sexual attraction. You know, like find someone sexually appealing, whether that's young or healthy, slender, good features, whatever the case may be. But that kind of attraction is much more limited than the one we're talking about in this course. And if that's the only one you're after, then your satisfaction is going to be fleeting. That's the nature of it. The same thing applies when it comes to yourself, because the more good you learn to see in yourself and enjoy about you being you, the more you'll learn to love yourself. And not only does this provide an instantaneous boost in life satisfaction and happiness and productivity and all the other benefits of love, but it adds a light to your eyes that others are sure to find very attractive, because it helps to activate the same experience in them. So they're going to enjoy being around you. You're going to bring out the best in them as well. The more you learn about the way love really works, you'll learn that when you do it right, it is a win-win proposition every time. Once you make a habit of seeing the good in others and in yourself, you're designing for yourself a completely different experience of life. You move into acceptance of things and gratitude, because all you need to see is the good that's there. You can move out of comparison and wondering whether other people are good enough for you to spend your time with, or whether you're good enough for them. That's kind of the way that the brain works. It compares things. It's just the way it's wired, and you can't really stop that too much. But when you start moving into heart space, that's a space where you experience everything together as one, as unified. People often use these words of we are one, we're unified, love is the answer, but almost nobody really understands what that actually means. You, however, can learn to understand what it means, and not only that, but experience how it feels and how it really does change the world. And it all starts with learning how to find the good and see the good in yourself and others, and learn that attraction is a much broader thing than anyone ever taught you before. Seeing the good is the crucial first step. But as today's fortune says, you are what you do, not what you say. So next we'll talk about a few things you can actually do to apply these things and take everything to the next level. Right down behind me here you see the Chicago River, and probably the most famous trait of water is that it follows the path of least resistance. It just goes where gravity tells it to go and doesn't resist. A lot of times human nature is the same way. And sometimes we just do what's easy for us. And if you're serious about learning to love more and be loved more in your life, it's going to violate some of your comfort zones, and it's not always going to be comfortable and easy, and you're going to have to step up and do more than just follow the path of least resistance. But I have some good news for you. Think about why does water go down? It's following gravity. And what is gravity? It's attraction. It's pulling it down toward the bottom of the earth, or toward the center of the earth. And when you love yourself and other people, then you have that same power going on, attraction, and it's wanting to treat yourself and others well. So all you have to do is, as you see the good and you start to feel some desires to do something nice for their well-being, for their happiness, for their growth, then obey that. Just don't sit idly by. It may violate some comfort zone, it may be a little bit difficult, but you can do it, and that is the path forward. There's a word that describes this beautifully, and it's going to happen right here tomorrow, because this is St. Patrick's Day weekend, and this time tomorrow, this whole river is going to be running green. There are going to be parades going up and down the street. There are going to be dancers. Some high school kids going to jump on a float with a bunch of German girls and lederhosen and sing "Shake It Up, Baby." And the word, of course, is celebrate. So when you have someone yourself or someone you want to see the good in and do something about it, celebrate those good things. Invite your friends over, have some fun, laugh, share it on social media. Just be excited about it. That's the way to do it. If you happen to be the type of person who really dislikes that idea of being uncomfortable and stretching your comfort zone, then here's a really good exercise for you. All you have to do is put your arm out straight and raise it up like that, down once more, and up, and just repeat that 5 times, and you're done. And that was easy, right? And you're no better off than when you started. It was a complete waste of time. So if you're serious about learning this stuff, you're going to have to do a few stretches, but it's not as hard as you think. Sometimes as simple as finding something more difficult. So think of someone or something who you really despise, and then practice seeing the good in them, finding some good in them. And I'm not joking here. If you can do that, if you can successfully do that, then think how much easier and more natural it will be to see and find and celebrate the good in things you don't find so distasteful. If you can't bring yourself to do that, then keep trying until you succeed. Don't give up on this. This is important. You know you want it. Just once won't hurt. Give it a try. If water always flows downward, then how do you explain the fact that all of the water in the world is not currently sitting on the bottom of the ocean? Of course, the answer to that is that water does not always follow the path of least resistance. Sometimes it warms up, it expands, it evaporates, it floats up into the clouds, it flies around the world, snows or rains, and repeats endlessly this whole exciting trek. And once again, human nature is no different. So if you would rather have something more interesting and better in your life than a single, simple, one-way trip downward, always doing the easy thing, there's only one person in charge of making that happen. I think you know that who that is, so do something about it. Now you know what to do, right? See the good, get inspired. Let that pull you in new directions. It is a far superior way to live. You will not regret it. When I was in 5th grade, my teacher had about 24 biographies of like founding fathers and stuff, and I read all of them. Of all of them, my favorite one was Nathan Hale. So I'm a little bit disappointed because behind this construction on the Tribune building here is a statue of Nathan Hale, and I just wanted to make a point about him. Like, in case you don't remember, he was the spy during the American Revolution, and he went behind enemy lines, the Brits, and he got caught and executed. And his famous last words are, "I regret that I have but one life to give for my country." So the question for you is, I mean, he had something worth living for, right? Worth dying for, and he did something about it. So what have you got? Who do you have? What are you doing about it? Are you getting out of your comfort zone and actually making a difference for yourself, for people around you, for the world? If not, think about it. Let it sink in until that actually happens. You know you want to.